With that being said, we have a fantastic show ahead of us. Tonight we have with us Justin Kukla. He is a certified personal trainer and gym owner at Justin and Kylie's Custom Fitness Training in North Chelmsford. We also have Liz Natale. She is a nutritionist and dietitian at the Intuition Nutrition LLC. Is that correct? Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. I'm excited. We've had Justin on the show before. Liz, thank you for coming on. People always say it's always about diet and exercise, so I think we'll get a good combination of both here tonight.
Yep, we're in the same building, so you get everything at once.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, we'll start with you, Justin. Tell us a little bit about what you do as a certified personal trainer.
Well, we do only personal training. It's in a private studio, so it's not like your big, box gym. People set up appointments. They come in, they'll do their training session. Now, each person who comes in is just a little bit different based on what kind of goals they have. They might be losing weight, trying to get better for a sport. Maybe they want to run a marathon. They could be recovering from injury. They might be, post-rehab. It really depends on what their needs are, and we'll have them in for an assessment. We'll kind of, see where we can start them with, and then they'll come between 2 and 4, maybe some people even come 6 times a week, and we'll just work towards their goals.
That's awesome. So, Liz, you're a nutritionist and a dietitian. Talk a little bit about what you do.
Great. So similar to Justin's approach, it's all individual. So folks will come in for many different reasons. Maybe they're trying to lose weight or gain weight. Maybe they were just diagnosed with diabetes or had a cardiac event or something medical going on. Oftentimes also it may be preventive, so they're just coming in to make sure they're doing everything they can to prevent a sickness or a diabetes or gaining weight. So we talk about their lifestyle and their goals and some changes they are looking to make that would be realistic to make and also sustain. And we follow up. It varies on the person. Sometimes it's once every few weeks. Sometimes it's less frequent or more frequent. And go from there and just give them kind of that extra accountability, and checking in is usually what makes it successful.
Now, I know a lot of times people go to the gym, they're looking to get stronger, they're looking to get healthier. Which is more important, diet or exercise?
Well, they work synergistically.
Okay.
Basically, when you come in and you get stronger and you work hard and you develop yourself, it allows you to push even harder. So the harder you work and the better you get, the more calories you can burn. That's if someone's trying to lose weight. A lot of times, though, that training, what we do, depending on what they want, they need the fuel to be able to do that. They need to get enough protein. They need to be on with their diet if they're trying to gain weight, lose weight. The diet is all about supporting the exercise.
I'm going to be biased and say that diet's more important.
It is,
but
for losing weight.
For losing weight, definitely, yeah. And when we talk about that sustainability, and you may meet your goal, but what about maintenance? What does that really look like? And I think that's where people struggle more. They may hit their goal through Weight Watchers or a program they're on, but who really helps them make the next step to sustain that success? So exercise has to be a piece of that for maintenance and continuing some type of a plan with their diet.
Yeah, sometimes I'll hear someone complain, or they'll be impatient, like they're not hitting their goal, and I always tell them, it's never the training program's fault. If you are not losing weight, it's because you are not eating properly, and I push them on Liz.
Well, it is difficult, right? Because you start working out, and naturally, a lot of times you get more hungry as a result of burning more calories. What kind of advice do you give people that just get started on a training program, and how to best combat some of those, I guess, cravings?
Yeah, well, I think it has a lot to do with the quality of their diet. So if they're not eating good quality foods to start with, their body's not going to respond well, and they probably are going to be wanting to reach for quick energy, sources like maybe some simple sugars. So really sitting down and looking at what are they getting for their macronutrients, their protein, fat, carbohydrates, and trying to change maybe the quality of their diet. and understanding what hunger really is, and if it's thirst or hunger or other things, emotional eating too can play a role.
Now, do you build out a program that looks at calories, total calories that you take in, and then kind of work from there? How does it all?
Yeah, so calories certainly matter, right? That's kind of the name of the game, but it's not the only thing that matters. I've found some people follow a very strict calorie counting plan and may not see the results they want. So I do start with some type of a calorie number depending on the person's fitness level and goals, but I try to teach them more just about what's a healthy diet and what are you getting those calories from? 1,400 calories of fast food versus whole food is totally different. So calories, yep, there's that conversation, but it's not the highlight or the main focus. I really want to be their nutrition teacher, so I think they'll get more out of that than, at Weight Watchers, for example, again, it's a game, it's a point system, and what are we really learning about how to fuel ourselves?
Now, Justin has always said that you don't have to completely modify your entire diet when you get started. Is that something you feel is true?
I think you can't go off the deep end in any aspect. You can't dive into an exercise plan and expect you to sustain 6-7 days a week workouts. Nor could you expect to cut everything that you enjoy out of your diet and be happy. So I think there has to be a balance between still maybe going out on Friday night to your favorite restaurant with balancing everything else out, sure.
And that's where the individualism is so important, because not everyone is the same. No one has the same, body type. No one has the same diet. No one has the same family. No one has the same job. Everyone is completely unique. So that's why you can't just take cookie cutter programs off the internet and expect to get results. You have to go in, you have to be assessed, and you have to see what you're dealing with, and you have to have a plan that's put together for you, because only a plan that's going to be put together for you is going to work for you.
There are probably many people out there right now that they want to exercise, they want to eat appropriately, but it's just, there's a mental block there, it's hard, it requires a lot of work and effort. What is it that you do when they first come into the gym to try to help kind of reshape that mindset?
Small changes, go at it slow, be patient, understand it's going to take years to get where you want. It's not going to happen in 4 weeks, not going to happen in 6 weeks, not going to happen in half a year. It takes time. Changing is one of the hardest things for people to do, but if you stick to a system and you follow that system, the more you do it, the closer you get to your goal. It's when you break that system, you start slashing calories, you start running around to different exercise programs. When you get stressed about your results, when you get impatient, that's where everything breaks down. You have to follow the system to the T and be consistent over a long period of time. That is the best way to get results.
I'm sure you've seen it, and you brought up, stress in general. Like, a lot of times people start well on a program, maybe they get sick, maybe they get injured, or maybe just life in general just, overcomes them. What are kind of some strategies or tips that you might give somebody to try to overcome some of those mental blocks or time periods in which they kind of lapse in their...
Well, people have to just realize that, they're unique to themselves. Everyone's going to move at their own pace. You can't, if someone has a lot of weight to lose and they can see Liz, twice a month, they can see me 6 days a week, and they can work at it with no stress and get really fast results, that's because it's them. But someone else who has, a family, works 7 days a week, they're going to have to go at a pace that's going to fit their lifestyle, because it's a balance between the gym, their nutrition, and their life. If someone can only work out 2 days a week, can only see Liz once every 2 months, as long as they stay consistent with it and they follow the plan, then they'll get results. It might take them a little bit longer, but that's okay, because that's just life, because they have other things in their lives they have to focus on. And it's really about doing what you can with what you got.
A lot of people, I think, don't understand how many calories they're actually taking in. I think if you go to the Cheesecake Factory and you eat like, I don't know, one of their meals is like 2,000 something calories. Talk a little bit about that, and is that something that you discuss with people when they come into the gym?
Yeah, and I think people will downplay too a little bit, maybe subconsciously, what they're eating and how much they're eating. And sometimes folks will say, I just don't feel like I ever eat, or maybe they skip meals, but then the evening comes and they consume a large amount of food. So it can be, you're in a habit and it's hard to see where the problems are because that's what you do every day. That's just what you do. So having someone like myself come in and look at your lifestyle and offer tweaks and to educate that, okay, a serving of pasta cooked is only a half a cup. No one I know actually eats a half a cup, but let's start there. Let's try to work with maybe 2 servings at a meal instead of the box.
Yeah, I find that people underestimate how many calories they eat and overestimate how many calories they're burning with exercise. As the number one thing that I find that people miscalculate when they're thinking about exercise and nutrition.
Do you ever suggest using apps or things on your phone to maybe track some of this stuff?
Totally. It's been shown to be one of the best tools for weight loss, weight management, and overall kind of health accountability, using like a food journal app or weight tracking app, something that tracks what you're doing. With some of my folks, I will even set up like a spreadsheet for them that we can both access, and that's a great way to look at change over time. Folks may not see a large weight change, but we also measure their inches, or we can do their body composition and look at their body fat percent. And so there may be other ways to look at their success if they're tracking it, if we're really keeping an eye on it and not just talking about it. So
what I tell people is that knowledge is power. So the more you know about your diet and your exercise, the better off you're going to be. It's when you assume you know about it, or you're not skeptical enough about the things you're eating. So what I like to do when I train is it's a very educational environment. So I teach clients every day what we're doing, why we're doing it. Liz is the same way with planning out the nutrition plans. Like there's reason when you do something, there has to be a reason for it. And the more you understand about how the diet affects you and how the exercise affects you, the better off you will be, especially when your motivation goes down and you understand that that's part of the process, because you're not going to be on point all the time. You'll be down, you'll be feeling bad about your results, but knowing that that's part of the journey ultimately is going to help you keep going.
Now, I know you guys focus a lot on strength training. Talk a little bit about what the importance of that is versus, say, cardio, and how you kind of mix things up for people.
So basically, when you're designing a training program, there's essential components and non-essential components. So an essential component is the strength training. This helps build muscle, helps your bone strength. It'll make your ligaments and tendons better. It allows you to work harder. If you pack on a little bit more muscle, you'll be able to burn a little extra calories. It's not a lot, and you should never factor it into your diet. And what it really does is it gives you the ability to go out and do things. One time I had a client who couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. That is a huge issue in someone's life. They can't bring the laundry upstairs. What the place doesn't have an escalator or an elevator. So the only thing that was able to get that client to do that was through strength training. So there's a lot of quality of life that goes into it. And for people like athletes and stuff, making the strength training is critically important to their performance on the field as well.
Well, one thing that I can attest to is Justin did train me, and I was not able to jump onto a box originally, but actually after maybe 6 weeks of training, I was able to jump onto a box probably
30
as
inches.
high as this table.
Yeah, 30 inches.
Should we see that?
Yeah, it was actually pretty exciting stuff. I think he filmed it, and I would show it
I
to
did.
people.
I might still have that.
And then people at the office would be like, "Can you jump up on this desk?" And I'm like, "I probably could, but the ceiling height's really low, so I'd probably like bash my head doing it." So, but I've seen his work in progress, and you know he hasn't mentioned it, but one of the things that I think has been critical to his success is being able to keep people coming to the gym.
Totally.
You know, a lot of times you're like, you know, if you have a membership somewhere, you're like, I don't have to go today. It's not a big deal. But if you have an appointment set, you feel more obligated to get there. You're more likely to actually.
Accountability is everything. Having someone accountable for your training, for your diet, is so critical. I mean, you think about accountability all the time. Think about work. You have, you know, your boss who's paying you. They're accountable on you, and you're accountable on them. Your kids are accountable to you, your wife, your husband, your friends. Accountability is all around us, and having someone who's accountable for your workout and diet is a huge bonus.
We're rolling into the holidays. What are some tips and tricks for people as they start to hit this holiday season? You got all sorts of snacks and things. What would you suggest?
It's not what you eat between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's what you eat between Christmas and Thanksgiving.
And honestly, be consistent. I mean, you know, someone I actually met with very recently, she tells me how she's really on point Monday through Friday, but Saturday and Sunday are quote unquote free-for-alls. So, you know, to me that's sad. Why are you working so hard 5 days a week and then 2 days kind of blowing it all out the window? So same thing goes for the holidays. Why would we give ourselves permission to, you know, negate all the hard work we've done all year long? You know, if you have favorite foods during those times, have them. You know, have some type of control around portions, and you know, you have a big meal Thanksgiving. Well, make sure the rest of your day has some type of structure, and you know, just put it all into perspective. It's not the last time that you're going to have a turkey dinner. It's not the last time you're going to have that apple pie. So.
Yeah, and if you're expecting like a really big meal, like a Thanksgiving dinner, you know, work out a little bit more the day before. Work out a little bit more the day after, and maybe take a nice 5-mile walk or something before or after you eat. You know, there's some things you can do to limit what you have at special occasions. Because the one thing you never want to do, you never want to sacrifice your life and enjoyment with friends and family because of your diet and your exercise. You want to fit it in. It's a happy balance between all of them, because that's not something you want to ruin. You don't want to be that family member who's not going to eat and enjoy and drink with the family around the holidays.
Are there certain things that you look at from a labeling perspective, like sodium, things like that you try to ultimately avoid or at least cut down on?
Yeah, I mean, the labels are great for a great tool to teach folks what's in our foods. I do try to teach people also the ingredients, so what actually are those numbers coming from? What are those numbers? And it depends on the person. So if someone has high blood pressure, we're going to talk a lot about sodium and trying to reduce that number. If we're really trying to watch our blood sugars, we're going to talk about carbohydrates and sugar. But more, I use it as a tool to even just start a conversation. Some people have no idea what those labels mean, and the percentages. Why are there percentages and grams? How does that pertain to them? So it's really a starting point to then say, okay, how can we take this information and make it practical to you? But I don't tend to be too crazy about specific trying to get under certain numbers for a large population. It depends on the person's individual health.
Now, I assume that the same goes for different food groups and trying to take in proteins and things of that nature. Is that based off of what Justin and you are trying to achieve for the individual? Or?
Right, and the message I try to send to is variety. So sometimes folks will say, well, I'm cutting out carbs, like I'm going keto, or these very drastic measures to get some results. And when we take things away, we don't always, where are we going to get those nutrients from in other foods? So I try not to say, okay, anything is bad. Like it's giving you something, even if that's enjoyment. It could be something. So how do we fit it in, and how do we keep good variety? Because research does say having a good variety in our diet is good, and it does offer us nutrition with more vitamins and minerals.
Which is kind of like what that Weight Watcher, it's really more of a portion control, right? I
Yeah.
mean, a huge brownie might be like, what, 500 calories or something,
Yeah.
but if you just eat one little square of it, it's only like 100 or something.
Right. So you can pretty much find a way to have almost anything in your diet, depending on what your goals are. So.
Now, if people are interested and they do want to sign up with the gym, what is the best way to, start that process with you?
Well, they can always call us or text us. And then we have our website. And all they have to do is say, hi, I'm interested in training, and then I'll invite them in for kind of like an orientation to like show them the gym, maybe go through an assessment. But yeah, usually, text, call, or email is usually fine.
Now, where are you guys located?
We're at 2 Kennedy Drive in North Chelmsford, right across from the post office.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And same goes for you as well?
A little
or-
different. So my office is within the gym, but I'm kind of my own entity. Folks can contact me personally or through Justin. It doesn't matter, either by phone or email. I also have like an instant appointment booking on my website. So if you see a time that works for you, you can book an appointment right there. I take insurances for visits, so it's a slightly different process, but yeah, pretty easy to get in touch with us.
What is the best website for you?
So my website is intuitionnutritionllc.com.
Okay,
And they can go right on there and get all the info.
awesome. And
Yeah, jkifitness.com.
JKY, so jkyfitness.com.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys coming on the show, and hopefully people get the opportunity to work with you. And I know that with the new year coming up, people are making resolutions, but I don't think you should wait till then.
One of the best things too, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Everyone who comes just has a blast.
We just meet you where you are. You know,
Yeah.
we get that everybody's coming from different scenarios, and
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Well, especially from a health perspective, because a lot of people, you gotta get it before you get to the point where it's really a necessity.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it should be a lifelong goal, I would think, for most people to stay well and stay strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
We certainly believe that.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, and we'll have you on again soon.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.